Hey, another video, 11 So, what time is it? It's time for deliverance. Now, this video, this one is geared towards the ones that's still stuck, the ones that's still grinding it out. A lot of times, we think that as Christians or believers, because we have believers that people that believe in God but not really living for Him, but yet you believe in Him. Then we also have Christians that try to live for Him, but we still find ourselves stuck in situations. So this one is for that person, the person that's still grinding it out, believing in God, believing in something better, believing that Jesus is a deliverer. This is for that person, but have a hard time understanding why are we still stuck grinding it out when it seems like everyone else around us is free. So I wanted to lighten the deliverance. So the deliverance of the Israelites when they were in Egypt. So I want to just read a short passage. It's in Exodus chapter 2 and starting at verse 11. And it's funny because I did not pick these verses with 11. It's just so happened things pop into my head, and when I go back to the Bible to line it up, that's the number. Again, I believe we're in the final hour, and I believe that we need to experience deliverance, even if we are just completely unbelievers, or if we have some type of bondage in certain areas of our lives that constantly hold us back from getting into that promised land. So although the Bible is over 2,000 years old or 4,000 years old, or however, whatever theologians believe, or if some people believe it's storybook or whatever, I believe in Scripture, and I believe that the way that the Lord has designed it to be written and the symbolism in it is still applicable to today. So I'm going to look at Exodus chapter 2, verse 11. And this is highlighting Moses. So my question to you is, are you ready to go? Again, the ones that still grinding it out and looking for something better. I mean, we mark our calendars with a new year, but it doesn't matter if the year is still new, but we still stuck in old things. And we try to ignore the old things because it was last year, but it doesn't matter if it was last year if you still bound by whatever came about last year. We try to put aside anger. This year I'm not going to be angry anymore, but you're not dealing with what made you angry. This year I'm not going to spend this amount of money on frivolous things, but yet you don't know why you're spending. Some people don't look at as excessive shopping as bondage, but it is, because it's some type of gratification that a person can find behind spending money. If they've been feeling inadequate and want to be lifted up, it could be alcoholism. I'm really myself when I drink because now I could get loose, but really something may be holding back your joy. So it's just a matter of a new year doesn't do away with that bondage, that deep-rooted bondage. So we have to get back to the root of whatever it is in order to experience a true deliverance, in order for our New Year's to be New Year's. The new year begins when you enter into the freedom of being delivered. Again, I could keep going on, but I'm trying not to make these videos too long. I just try to get in and get out, So Exodus 2, verse 11. Now it came to pass in those days when Moses was grown that he went out to his brethren and looked at their burdens, and he saw an Egyptian beating a Hebrew, one of his brethren. So he looked this way and that way, and when he saw no one, he killed the Egyptian and hid him in the sand. Excuse me. And when he went out the second day, behold, 2 Hebrew men were fighting. And he said to the one who did the wrong, why are you striking your companion? Then he said, who made you a prince and judge over us? Do you intend to kill me as you killed the Egyptian? So Moses feared and said, surely this thing is known. When Pharaoh heard of this matter, he sought to kill Moses, but Moses fled from the face of Pharaoh and dwelt in the land of Midian and sat down by a well. All right. So here we have Moses. Moses didn't deal with the bondage that the Israelites dealt with. Moses grew up with a silver spoon in his mouth. Moses still a Hebrew, yet he didn't experience the bondage that they went through for all those years. But at the same time, when Moses was grown at the age of 40, Moses came into a place of recognition of where he was developing a sense of purpose, because he started to see the affliction of his people. So in his minute mindset at that time, his way of delivering his people was to kill the Egyptian. Okay, so in his mind, it was deliverance, but at the same time, that wasn't the proper way to deliver, because he would have had to go through all of Egypt and kill all the Egyptians if he really wanted to free his people up. He would have to kill them one by one. And we know that that wasn't going to happen. So after he killed the Egyptian to free the one Hebrew up, then he go break up a fight between 2 Hebrews. And first thing they say is who made you prince and judge over us? Okay. Now, Moses was a prince in Egypt. Although he was a Hebrew, he was a prince in Egypt. So Moses ended up coming to a point to where he was having an identity crisis. He didn't fit in with the Egyptians because he knew who he was. But at the same time, he didn't fit in with the Israelites or the Hebrews because they saw who he was. So in their mindset, they looking at Moses as if you think you're better than us. But Moses trying to show, hey, I'm no better than you are. But yet there's some type of conflict there because Moses wasn't going through what they were going through. So anyway, Pharaoh finds out, Moses fled. Okay. Now Moses was gone for 40 years. Now during those years that Moses was gone, the Hebrews were still grinding it out. They were still grinding it out. And Moses being a prince, believe it or not, the Hebrews knew that Moses had to flee. They had to know because he was the prince of the land. So now, and they also knew that he was a Hebrew. So now, my question to you is, who is your Moses? And again, this is to the believer or even the unbeliever that's still grinding it out, but bound by something and want freedom. Even though Moses went through all of that, even though he was gone for 40 years, he came back. Okay? Moses went back. So my question to you is, who came back for you? A lot of times we have a hard time receiving the ones that come back for us because they didn't go through what we went through. So we feel like they can't identify. Yet when they have the tools to help us be delivered, we deny it because they didn't experience what we experienced. Sometimes we have to just get over it. Sometimes we have to get over that, this person may have had it better than us. So sometimes we deny our Moses because we believe our Moses, the one who was put in our life to come back and free us from that bondage. Sometimes we have the mindset of thinking, you didn't go through what I went through, so I don't have to listen to you. Or it is good to be able to identify with someone who have experienced what you experienced. But the thing with Moses is, Moses knew the ins and outs of the land also. Moses knew both sides of the fence. He spent time in the wilderness. He knew the land. He knew the route. He may not have been able to identify with the affliction of the people, but at the same time, that doesn't mean he wasn't a helping hand and to guiding them in the right way. Because once they was delivered, he had to experience struggle. He was in the wilderness with them for 40 years, going through the same thing that they was going through. So it's not that he didn't. It's not that he was exempt from going through struggles. He still had struggles. The Bible doesn't say how all the Egyptians treated him because he was a Hebrew. He could have been discriminated against as a Hebrew prince in the Egyptian land. We don't know that. So the thing is when somebody come back for us and they have the certain tools to deliver us or to guide us in the right way, do we deny them because they haven't been through what we've been through? Do we deny them because they think they're better than us? So when the two Hebrews that were fighting said, "Who made you prince and judge over us?" They had some type of animosity towards Moses because of his lifestyle and the way that he grew up. He was found. He didn't force himself into Pharaoh's household. He was birthed into Pharaoh's household. That was his cup. That's what fell his way. He had no control over that. So a lot of times we deny people based on their upbringing, and they have no control over that. So because we don't like their plate versus our plate, we turn a deaf ear to what they have to say, when the things that they've given us are keys to our deliverance. So a lot of times we have these Moses that come back. And when they come back, we have the tendency to deny them. Someone right now have had a Moses or have a Moses right now. But because that Moses in your life haven't experienced what you experienced, you refuse the advice. We've all been there. I've been there. But again, this is not about me. This is about the person that know that they have a Moses, because the time is drawing near. It's time to put the blood over the post. People around all of us is dying. And it's only getting worse. No matter what type of virus and all this stuff and whatever remedies they have, you can't control the end times. The Bible is pure prophecy. It's prophetic. And no matter how much man try to sidestep that, we can't. The Lord, his word is true, and he hold fast to his promises. So what time is it? It's time to be delivered. It's time to stop looking at other people and refusing advice, because in our mind, we think they think they're better than us. But that keeps us stuck, because we think our deliverance is going to come from what we think or where we think our deliverance is going to come from. So a lot of times our deliverance comes from that person that we may despise the most. Why? Why is it that the one that we really don't want to listen to be the one that have the keys? Why is that? And in my opinion, based on my experience, it was a lesson of humility. It was a lesson of humility for myself. It was a lesson for me to understand how the Lord speaks to you, because in order to hear his voice, you have to be humble. So you most definitely is going to inquire a prideful situation in order to humble yourself, in order for the Lord to speak to you. Other than that, he can't speak through the pride. It's not going to come in the way that you want it, because we always want it to come in the most comfortable way as possible. So again, my question to the one that's seeking deliverance: who is your Moses? Who is your Moses? We can't, it's not wise to deny the one that's coming back. It's So if we are holding any animosity in our heart and we still grinding it out, but we still got that one that's checking on us and trying to guide us in the right way, the time is drawing too near to be playing a game, to be stuck in our own heads about where our deliverance come from. So we need to put the animosity behind us. And we need to understand that the time is drawing near, and eventually, it's going to come to a head. So I hope this has been beneficial, and have a good day.